This is breaking news.
General Hospital's Nurses Ball turns 30. How the AIDS Awareness Gala became a show staple. 30 years ago, General Hospital's creative team, at the time Wendy Riche, executive producer, and head writer Claire Labine, brought the Nurses Ball to daytime TV. Hosted by Lucy Coe, played by Lynn Herring, the event brought citizens of Port Charles together as they lent their impressive musical talents to a worthy cause. Other daytime dramas had addressed the issue of AIDS/HIV before, starting with Nurse Noreen Donovan, Marilyn McIntyre, on Loving, but General Hospital told an ongoing story with the Nurses Ball. A year after the first Nurses Ball in 1994, the show took Robin and Stone's love story in a powerful direction when Stone, Michael Sutton, died from AIDS and Robin, Kimberly McCullough, was diagnosed as HIV-positive. TV Insider chatted with Scott Barton, the show's former publicist, who had previously worked with Elizabeth Taylor, ex-Helena Cassadine, in 1985 on the Commitment to Life fundraiser for AIDS Project Los Angeles, APLA, about the Nurses Ball, how it came to be, and its enduring legacy. Scott Barton, I believe it was Claire's idea after actor Neil Tadkin had come up with the idea for the Day of Compassion, which took place every year from 1993 to 1999 on June 21 to honor people who were fighting AIDS or were HIV positive. In meeting, I went on to suggest that Bobby Jacqueline Zimmon, a nurse, could wear the red ribbon on air and that maybe a mention of it could be made. I went to Jackie and asked her if she was okay with that, and of course she said, absolutely. It exploded from there. It lit a fire under late costumer, Bob Miller, and costumer, Steve Howard, because that gave them free license to go crazy with ball gowns and costumes. Everybody just fell in love with doing these shows because it was at a time when nobody felt that they had anything to contribute to the AIDS crisis. I had many hours of conversations with Claire about what we could do to bring the Nurses Ball more to life, like bringing on Ryan White's mother, Jean, on as herself. She's still a friend of mine. That was my contribution. I was just in the right time at the right place. Everybody at the show was behind this 100%. The talent program within the show gave actors opportunities to showcase their talents. We already knew Wally Kurth, Ned, was a great singer, and that Stuart Damon, ex-Alan, had been Prince Charming in Cinderella. Other actors shined in the Nurses Ball too. We knew that they were singers in the cast. Brad Mull, ex-Tony, had had a very successful stage musical career, but I didn't realize to what extent everyone in the cast had something in them. Even the late John Berardino, ex-Steve, a former real-life baseball player, performed Casey at the Bat, the poem by Ernest L. Thayer. Actors were going up to Claire, telling her that I can do this or that. To Wendy's credit, the show got so much in. Oh yeah, I mean, it was almost scheduled and then something fell apart. I recall that it was tentatively scheduled for the end of the day. But something happened, and it got scrapped. She was absolutely up for doing it. It was scheduling. I don't remember what it was, but Elizabeth was not someone who would flake. I mean, she'd show up eventually. Laughs, I called it EST, Elizabeth Standard Time. She really did want to do it. She had a very soft spot for the show and for that character. I arranged with the Name Is Project AIDS Memorial Quilt people to have panels from the quilt brought down and used for the backdrop of the Nurses Ball. I don't know if people are aware of this, but whenever the quilt is displayed, there's a whole ritual of how they do it. It's like an origami in reverse. They installed it in the middle of the night to set it up for the next day's filming. The next morning, I remember standing on set with two actors, and one said that the art department did an amazing job of making it because it was so huge. I said, no, they didn't make it. That's the real quilt. Word had spread out throughout the whole building that the quilt was there, and there was so much reverence when the cast was called to set, and we began taping. Cast members admired the quilt, appreciated it, and they were wondering what the stories were in each panel. It really added a whole other layer of empathy, compassion, and reality to the entire taping. I am so grateful to Claire, Wendy, and Shelley Curtis, producer, the ABC executives, and everybody at GH for doing this.